Hello everybody. Happy afternoon. Happy Saturday. How are we doing? There's a cat here. And she's gone. Thank goodness for that. Oh, how are we? How are we? It's a little bit of an impromptu Saturday afternoon stream because there's a preview today. I only just realised that it was happening. So I figured we'd go live and do another watch along, which is what we like to do around here. Show the cat all we right. She just jumped off. She's down here. Hello. Glaring at me angrily. What do you want? Probably food. Anyway. Yes, so. Greetings from India. Asmodeus. You're in India? I love India. I've been a couple of times. It's a wonderful country. Good afternoon, Philip G. Dread Train, Yamail Angmar, Panzerfaust, Panzerkampf. Hello. How are we doing? Yeah. So we have a preview that is going to happen in about 25 minutes. Which I figured we would jump in for. And have some fun. See if it really was worth coming up in the Age of Sigmar preview. Shush. Apparently it's not even live. They're not even ready to go yet. Alright, that's cool. Anyway, how are we all? Are you guys all good? You guys having a lovely weekend so far? I have been busy building. I've been building all week, basically. Lots and lots of building. I know it's not an AOS showcase, but I am here to show support. Thank you very much, the Grey Tide. I really appreciate that. Also just finished my Claw Lord using your tutorial. Thanks again for your amazing work. Oh, you're very kind. I'm glad you found it useful. The Claw Lord's a really cool model. You're trying to wake up, Philip. I see. I suppose it's a week of painting and a week of building for you, really, on and off. Yeah, that is pretty much how it goes. Yeah. Unless it's like one model per go round, but I generally try to like build a huge chunk of them and then just paint a huge chunk of them. That seems to be the methodology that works the best. Painting Mangler Squigs. It's a good weekend so far. Awesome, Freak Mike. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, just lots and lots of building. The painting will start on Monday. We do have a slightly interesting issue because, well, I've actually, I prime all of my miniatures with a rattle can, and I do it on the top step of our porch because we live on a second floor flat. And because we live on a second floor flat, I just literally just open the door and step out onto our steps, and then I spray my miniatures. However, we have two cats who are not allowed to go outside at the moment as residents, as part-time tenants. So it's going to be a slightly different way. I'm going to have to figure out a different way to do it. I haven't quite figured that out. It's going to be more dependent on the weather than ever before. Because if it's raining, we're not going to be able to get any priming done at all. Also, I have the same Cena shirt laying around. Let's do a partner look, shall we? Hustle, loyalty, respect, brother. It's John Cena. Ba-ba-da-ba. I love this t-shirt. I just get it out every so often just for fun. So what are we expecting to see today? Well, obviously Operation Hive Storm. Whatever the heck that is. So, I mean, it's got to be massive, right? It's got to be so big that it was worthy of interrupting the AOS stream. I almost prepared a video just to interrupt today's stream. Honestly, just for a joke, just for fun. I thought it would be funny. I mean, I could just play the announcement video for Tale of Many Warhipsters Season 3 halfway through their preview. That would be amusing. But we won't do that. Because I'm better than that. So the preview goes live in 22 minutes. New board game. I think it's just gonna. I think it's Kill Team. I'm pretty certain it's gonna be Kill Team. One might even guess it's some sort of new core box for Kill Team. I would guess. What I find interesting about this preview is that the video that we all saw the other day, the trailer for it, and if you haven't seen that, we can actually we might be able to pull that up somewhere. Anyway, the trailer shows Vespid, which is interesting for a number of reasons. One, we just had a bunch of Kroot for the Tower Codex. So why weren't the Vespid at the same time and it was just an auxiliaries box? Because they've come out now. Which means they're probably not getting a new profile because they've got one, I think, in the Tau Empire Codex. I don't know. Somebody tell me. Didn't they post the video already? Yeah, there was a trailer yesterday, I want to say. Why have I got 2 instances of that open? We don't need that. It was this thing here. Okay. Yeah. So, there was this video that came out yesterday. Which is about 2 minutes and 19 seconds long. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. So in this video, what we see is a hotshot volley gun on a servitor gun platform. We see some Tau Pathfinders get gunned down by it. And then we see well, they're not Elysian drop troops, but it would be fun if they were Elysian drop troops. We see Tempestus Scions with jump packs. I know they say people have been talking about them as having grav shoots, but don't they technically all have grav shoots? The Tempestus Scions is what they do. They jump out of planes. So as you can see, we have this little doodad that they're getting on with. They then jump down into this hole, and that is where they encounter the next run of Tau models that may or may not be in Operation Hivestorm. Yeah, here we go. There. So those are the Vespid. Yeah, definitely Vespid. So yeah, it looks like we're getting jump pack troops now in Kill Team. There were jump pack troops in Kill Team a long time ago, before 8th edition or this new version of Kill Team. There was a little book that came out in 7th edition. It was a Kill Team book, but that was based on points, and you had restrictions on the amount of armor values that you could take. For example, so you could have vehicles in it as well. So stuff like the what was it called? The Scout Land Speeder and stuff like that. They were available in that version of Kill Team, which was a great version of Kill Team. It's fantastic. Opinion on new MESBG War of the Rohirrim announcement. I really like it. I'm honestly, it wasn't on my bingo card for the year, but I'm very excited for a new MESBG edition. I'm very interested to see what they do with it, especially given as it's the War of the Rohirrim. It leads me to believe that we're going to get some new plastic kits for Rohan of all armies. So if we're going to get new Riders of Rohan and new Royal Guard, Rohan Royal Guard in plastic, that would be incredible, because the Rohan Royal Guard are still metal. I have some, they're right here. That would be really, really wonderful to see that kind of thing. As always, guys, if you could please leave a like on the stream, I would really appreciate it. It is a free way to support the channel. And it, you know, does wonders for the channel. It means more people find the stream and then they come and watch. And they maybe subscribe and then they make me happy. You know? That's always nice. So we've got about 15 minutes left to go before we have the announcement. Let me just see if they've got a thing up yet. Doesn't look like they do. Nope. And there's me thinking that I got it wrong, but it does say on the Warhammer website that it goes live in 16 minutes and 22 seconds. It says, shush, do you hear that? It almost sounds like 22 elite operatives soaring down from the sky, but that can't be right. Our schedule says it's time for a kill team preview, and we don't remember any transmission disrupted. Lol. Share your story on why you chose Blood Angels and not another chapter, and which else are top 3 after Blood Angels for me. The reason I chose Blood Angels, it's on YouTube this time. Is it? Well, they're linking to their Twitch. Yeah, it says watch it as it happens on their Warhammer, on the Warhammer Twitch channel. Why did I choose Blood Angels? I chose Blood Angels because they have the most compelling story. It's on both. Wow. Okay. They're branching out. They have the most compelling story. They have one of the most interesting Primarchs. They are a chapter not unlike the Salamanders, who have a greater respect for human life. They are... They have this dichotomy at their heart of the rageful machines that they were crafted to be, but also a deep well of humanity that not many other chapters have. And they're just fantastic. Their kind of inner struggle is what makes them so compelling, and their idea of the sense of duty that the Blood Angels have. They are glorious, of course they are, but it's not really about that sense of glory, you see, because they always have this, they have that curse in their blood that will always one day get them. There's no avoiding it, the Black Rage, and yet for them it is all about continuing on in the face of duty anyway, that rather than just kind of give in to that or be morose about it, it's always a case of it will always get them. But they just have to keep it on, even in the face of that, and it's a horrifying fate for them. To be honest, it's, you know, it's not great. So, I mean, that's just one of many things. It echoes the sacrifice that Sanguinius made. Sanguinius had long foresight of his own death at the hands of Horus, because he believed that his death had to happen to make it so that the Emperor could defeat Horus. And so he went to his death anyway, in spite of the evidence that, you know, and it was just his duty to do. He fulfilled the prophecy, even though he knew what it meant would happen to his chapter, to the future of the Imperium, and of course to his father. So, it's I like that about them. There's just something that's very compelling about the Blood Angels. In that respect, like I said, it's their duality of purpose. It's what makes them so cool. Hi Josh, after 6 years and changing the chapter for my Space Marines 4 times, I have finally settled on Blood Angels, and your tutorials are helping so much. Oh, thank you, Israel. There's a lot of Blood Angels videos. There, I probably have almost the most Blood Angels on YouTube. Hello, Longhorn. It's on both. Interesting. Is it really? I want to go and see what a YouTube stream looks like. Let's have a look. Warhammer. Have they got it scheduled then, have they? Oh, not oh, yes, they do. Premieres in 11 minutes. Whoa, shush. Is that a video that's going to go live? I'm very confused now. Is this just going to be a video that gets pushed live? Because that's a premiere, right? That's not a stream. That's a video that's going to go live in 11 minutes. Interesting. Well, we're going to go on this journey together, guys. Just wanted to thank you for your guide videos, really giving me the confidence to tackle my Astral Templars. Oh, thank you, Collider115. I'm glad I could help. The last couple of reveal shows have been pre-recorded as well. I know. But if it's a premiere, that means we can pause it, which is great. Top 5 favourite chapters of Space Marines. I mean, Blood Angels, first and foremost. Imperial Fists, I like them. White Scars, I love them. Raven Guard would probably be up there. Salamanders. I just like all the Firstborn, really. The original legions. They're my favourites. I have a top 9, if you will. Well, this is interesting. So we're doing... Okay. So what's interesting is on the Warhammer... On the Warhammer community website, they're linking to Twitch. Ah, there we go. Right. It's live now on Twitch. Nope, we don't want to see the stream chat. Go away. This is what we want. And then if I go here, you should be able to see it. Yep, there we go. Yeah, looks like we're groovy now. Hashtag Firstborn for life. I completely agree, Cass. Firstborn were the Space Marines that I've been around for the longest time. They were the thing that compelled me to be involved in Space Marines and Warhammer. Not purely Warhammer, that was a Metal Necron, but I've always loved the Firstborn Space Marine. Especially I like their helmets. I like the grill, like the nose grill type thing. The mouth grill, basically. I like it more than I like the Primaris one, which is reminiscent of the Mark 6, I want to say. Helmet grill. I like the one from the Tactical Squad, you know, the classic silhouette. It's my favorite one. Oh, we've got 9 minutes. I might just... Shall I interrupt this stream with a trailer for my own channel? This pre-recorded stream thing is very strange. I get why they're doing it. I think it's so that you keep a consistent amount of excitement from the people that know what they're talking about, rather than getting people to pretend they care about something. And that sounds harsh, but like, I think everybody out there will agree that you don't love every single faction and every single game that Games Workshop makes, right? For my 40k fans in the chat, do you care about AOS? And if I asked you to stand up and do a preview show where you were talking about how great AOS is, do you think you could do that convincingly? Reza hates Eldar. Exactly. Controversial take, Rez. But that's the point, right? And I think, like, you know, as was also mentioned there by Barry, they don't interact with the audience, so there's no point doing anything but pre-recorded. Yeah, I get that. Hello there, General Kenobi. Love it. And this is what I mean. I'm not trying to drum up hate for things, right? But, like, it's impossible to find somebody who is enthusiastic about every single thing, you know? Even if you work there, you're just going to have... Everyone has their tastes. Reza loves trains. He could do a preview show about trains. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Lynn. Wow, we have 111 people watching right now. That's amazing. Hello, everybody. If you're new, welcome. Welcome to the channel. It's great to have you. I'm very interested in this. I'm interested in it from the perspective of, like, they're clearly excited about it if they're going to ram it into an AOS preview. So, this is going to be... If it's Kill Team and it's the launch of a new Kill Team set, then I think this has to be on the same level of, like, I guess, value as Skaven Tide. If this has got, like, you know... I think for Kill Team, you need to really ramp up the amount of terrain that's in the box, but also make the box affordable. So I wonder if we're going to see some absolutely bonkers terrain in here. Just massive pieces that are really tall. Given as we've got flying jump troops and stuff, that would make sense, right? So, like, this is going to be the first... Will this event be interrupted at the Empire Stormcast tease for revenge? Alex, I really hope it is. I hope they get interrupted by a lightning strike and we just see, like, a golden boot or something come down. That if it does happen, that will make me really happy that it's, like, tit for tat. If that doesn't happen, I will start a riot. No. Oh dear. This channel made me love painting my models. Oh, thank you, Goblin. I'm glad I could help you. Painting models is a lot of fun. It's a great way to while away an evening. Or every single day of your life. Like I do. Well, the last week hasn't been painting, it's been building. But it's all prepping towards the painting. This week's going to be all about the painting. There's going to be tons of painting getting done this week. And it's going to be fun to try and navigate that with the two cats here as well. Sigmar lied about the content of the stream. He certainly did last week. Oh, man, those Skaven releases are incredible. And then they kind of went, don't forget about 40k. It's here. I strongly suspect we are not going to see a Stormcast interruption today, which will make me very sad. But it's fine, I guess. The worlds of 40k need to feel some love too occasionally. I get it. Let me just see if we've got any kind of quiz thing going on. Oh, I'm getting an advert. Catch Warhammer right after this ad break. An ad for Kingston University, London. Yes. It is now properly playing. Okay, cool. We are live, baby. Hello, Philip. Hello, Edward. Goddamn GW putting a preview on when the football is on. I know. Well, I mean, I escaped it yesterday because I got to watch the opener. Got to watch Man United be not as bad as I thought they would be, but not as great as I want them to be yet. It was an okay performance yesterday. It wasn't fantastic. Fulham, I was really impressed by. I thought they were pretty good. If they had better finishing, Fulham would have done well. Man United were there for the taking, easily. Easily. No question in my mind about that. Alright, I'm going to pause this music. Nope. It's just going to immediately start, despite me doing that. Bought myself some Corvus Belly miniatures so I could paint metal minis for the first time. Detail is mental considering they are metal. Wow. A detailed metal mini. That's interesting. A Man U supporter. Oh no, I take it all back. That is an absolutely fine attitude to have, and I completely understand. However, we have been terrible for the last 10 years. We're paying our dues now. I think it should be a symbol of respect that you can still stand by a team that's been as abjectly bad as Man United have been in the last 10 years. I will never jump ship. Ever. Even if it gets worse, which it might. We'll see how it goes between now and November. I think... Who's your team, Iriel? Am I saying that right? Bolton Wanderers. They're a good side. I like Bolton. Oh, we're live. It's happening. Straight in. Where is that music coming from? Ah, from YouTube.
We will spare no details. But before
sorry,
it,
my bad.
Something pretty awesome to show you.
Here we go. Is this going to be the same trailer again? I think it might be the same trailer again. You previewed this yesterday. Cool. Right, let's just mute that because we've already seen it once. New edition, please, no season. I think it's going to be a new... I think it's going to be a new edition. I don't think they would be making this big a deal about it if it wasn't a new edition of Kill Team, you know? It makes sense for it to be a new edition of Kill Team. Because like I said, they rammed it into the Skaven preview, and they're not just going to do that with a season announce. That would just be part of the Nova preview. So it must be important for some reason, right? It just has to be. Please, let it be so. The Dyson guns are still cool. They are. They are very cool. Giuseppe 5. Thank you so much for the $50. Hey Josh, thanks for doing what you do. Do you think that all of the Primarisified Space Marines are disappointing because you have their old sculpts or because you don't think they look good? I started collecting a year ago and I don't mind them. Firstly, thank you very much, Giuseppe 5. That is incredibly kind of you. Incredible scenes. Everybody, please do like that and give Giuseppe some love for that. That is amazing. The reason I don't like it, and it's not anything to do with the quality of the models, because I think the quality of the models are just, the same as they always are from Games Workshop. Games Workshop makes really, 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 really great models. It does. They are fantastic. The reason I don't like it is because it's just redoing older ones, and I have all the older models, as you say. I want new characters to build new stories and to move the story forward, rather than continuing to redo things like Mephiston and Dante and blah 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 and Lematis. It's like, why? I'll come back to you in a minute, but we've got this
video at the end of this preview. Right now, though, I'm joined by Wade and Elliot from the Warhammer Studios to chat about the new edition of Kill Team. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi. Hey, thanks, man.
Super excited to have you guys.
New edition of Kill Team.
New edition of Kill Team. So this isn't seasonal content like Gallo Dark or Nightmare that we've seen previously. This is a brand new edition. So tell us a little bit about it.
Cool. So yeah, so it's a restart in a way. So we have all of our factions getting new rules. But what we've done is we've looked at the core rules in the previous edition, and we thought we're pretty happy with this. We like where Kill Team's at, and so what that means is that for veteran players, it's going to feel very familiar with some targeted improvements. One of the big things we've done is we've made the game more accessible than ever before. So for new players getting on board, and for people that are maybe on the fringe of the game, it's going to be easier than ever to get stuck into skirmish combat.
Also, I'm super excited about it. Can I be really cheeky and ask, do we have like a rough idea of when this is going to be landing?
Yeah, I believe pre-order September, release in October. So
oh wow,
not
a date.
too far away.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll kick off the season for us. So we'll have a year's worth of content with that new edition as well. So yeah, lots to sink our teeth into coming in October.
Very good stuff. So we just saw that awesome cinematic as well, and I think I saw a giant gun.
Cinematic.
I think I did. So
probably did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So Wade, can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us about the setting of the new edition now.
So the new box Hivestorm is set on the world of
love Wade,
which is in Imperium Nihilus in the Chalnath Expanse.
Wade is
we're taking the Wade
is one of the great ones.
A little bit more at the ongoing war between the Tau Empire and the forces of the Imperium in that particular region of space. And that gun that you saw, that is the Great Gun, as it's known. Sacred Death, Massif Ballistus. So that forms the backdrop for an awful lot of the early stages of the war.
Can we get that in the
There are various
plastic
factions who'd quite like to be able to turn that earth-shattering power of the gun to their own ends. So you see an awful lot of different kill teams fighting in and around the environs of the Great Gun, where they can't quite commit full-scale forces to the war just yet.
Yeah, we saw some Astra Militarum in there as well. You tell us a bit about those.
So they're the Tempestus Aquilons.
Yes.
These are Tempestus Scions we're already familiar with. These are the special forces, essentially, of the Astra Militarum. And we know that they deploy by Valkyrie, they deploy by Grav Shoot.
But if it's in
these
plastic,
are specially trained, dedicated Tempestus Scion troops who fight with their Grav Shoot. So they
Forge World are releasing the new
insertion,
Great Gun.
And then they're fighting with specially modified war gear, cut down las carbines, hot shot las weapons that we associate with the Tempestus Scions, but modified for the sort of rapid strikes that these forces are famous for.
Wade looks healthier.
Like winged insectoid bringers of death. Who are they?
So these are the Vespid Sting Wings, getting a bit of an update after best part of 20 years, I think, since we first saw them. These are
more
auxiliaries
updated
of the Tau
models.
Empire, alien auxiliaries, going places that the Tau themselves can't go, kitted out with all sorts of wonderful weapons, facilitated by the Earthcast engineers of the Tau Empire. And you see a few developments from the neutron blasters.
Are we going to
that
see
first
models,
saw,
or is it just the cinematic trailer that they
Vespid Sting
dropped
Wings of
yesterday?
old, and there's a few tinkers and tweaks that the Earthcast engineers have made available to these Vespids to send them into the places that they can't quite send even the Pathfinder teams.
Amazing stuff, and we're going to be chatting loads more about that throughout the preview as well. Next up, let's check out what you can look forward to with the new edition.
Here we go. This is what we care about. Models! Tempestus Aquilons. So not Scions. Makes sense. Cool. Cool. Vespid Sting Wings. Yeah. They're fun. Escalating conflict. It doesn't look like there's any new terrain. Kill Team Hivestorm. There you go. Well, I mean, there is terrain in the box by the looks of things. It just doesn't look like it's
So that was Kill Team Hivestorm. Wade, what sort of experience are players in for with this?
So Kill Team is fast-paced, furious skirmish combat. It's quite different to the massed battles that you see on main Warhammer 40,000 battlefields. And we tried to capture that in the tone of the background of the presentation, or the fictions written in the present tense to really give a sense of that
really tall terrain.
The really frenetic, fast-paced firefights that you get in these Kill Team games.
Nice. And you mentioned the weapon world of Vulcus earlier when we were chatting. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Okay, so it was a hive world, but it's developed this enormous defensive weapon that's really come to become identifiable part of the culture of the world. The people of the world venerate it. There are enormous ceremonies associated with the preparing of the rounds and the firing of the gun.
Please do it.
It is a weapon that could be turned to all sorts of other uses if you were, you know, an invading Tau force or an Orc force. So we've seen a few of the other forces that might take an interest in capturing the weapon for themselves.
Interesting.
But there will be Imperial forces who are trying to make a claim for it themselves as well.
And as we've just seen there as well, like some of the contents in the box, it looks like an absolutely amazing offering. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, there's a lot of bang in this box.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of things in it for sure.
Pictures.
So you get the two new teams, the Aquilons and the Vespid Sting Wings, which are really exciting. We'll talk a little bit about them later. You get a brand new kill zone, which is the kill zone for the year, if you like. It's called Vulcus. Now, this is a very dense city-like kill zone. And so lots of heavy terrain and two big dominant strongholds, which will...
I mean, they're very nice. They are very
around
nice.
those two. And so it really feels like you're in a city fight. You get the new equipment upgrade pack, which is fantastic. So there's a list of universal equipment now, as well as faction equipment.
Okay.
And that universal equipment is obviously available to everyone. But things in there include terrain features. So you can take ladders and barbed wire and mines and heavy barricades. And so you can place all that in the kill zone as a choice thing. You can set it up as you want. And so it really adds to that dense feel of the kill zone, but also gives you the players that sort of tactical flexibility, which is quite nice. There is a new mission pack, the approved Ops mission pack. So some mission packs, there are various different ones in Kill Team. There's some in the core book, but the approved Ops are most up-to-date competitive way to play, if you like, and that's a seasonal thing.
I'm hoping this means they're going vertical really nice with terrain rules like that other great
for the year of competitive play, which is great.
It
might just be got obviously the core book, which has all the new core rules, and you
might just be a carbon copy of
Hivestorm dossier. So it's the book that goes with this.
There you go.
It has the
that looks
rules
like that's
for
the terrain
those
that's
two
in the
teams,
box.
But it also has an exciting mission pack in called
more ruins.
And so that's if you want to recreate a mission where everyone can parachute into the kill zone. It's quite fun. You can do that. So you can have parachuting, Space Marines. You could have all kinds of
parachuting Space Marines. Why don't you just use the jump pack Space Marines?
Where one person's setting it to defend, and the attackers coming out of the sky to attack them. That's quite fun.
That's awesome. So what are some of the big headlines for this new edition then? Can you talk us through those?
Sure, yes. So I mentioned it earlier, accessibility is the main one.
This one's going to be longer than the AOS one. I just feel it in my bones.
To make the game really easy to get into and really approachable. The first one is that all faction rules are now going to be for free online from day one. And so they will be our live source of rules, which is also really good for updates and things like that. It's
free
just
rules.
Living truth of documents, which is really nice. But if you wanted to check out a team and give it a go, you can literally just download it and see if it's for you before you go and pick up those models, which is really nice. So you no longer have to buy the books to use them. There will be cards to go with them if you want them as an optional thing, so you have your hard copy references. But all rules are online for free, which is really nice. The other thing we've done is we've reworked a lot of the language of the game.
That's nice.
And so it's a lot more accessible for new players. Writing it for the 99%, and so the average person can pick it up and give it a go.
We've made it really competitive.
It's still there for 1% too. So what we've done is we've partitioned the rules quite nicely. The core rules are actually quite slimmed down and contained within one section. And then you have a key principles section, which is more of your advanced terms.
We've made it so that
to get a greater understanding of the game.
It's really competitive, and we've taken all of the sting out of the game.
Edge cases in those
Everything is now strength 6, AP -2, damage 2.
Really nice.
Simplified, not simple.
And so that accessibility is one of the key changes for the edition. The other thing we've done is we put the kill back in Kill Team. So most missions now have something called a kill op, whereby you get rewarded for being active and taking out enemy operatives. And as your kill grade goes up, you get more victory points. And
there you go.
So getting stuck in and being
strength 6, AP -2, damage 2.
A feature, as it should be for a game of special forces where you have to kill each other. And so, especially with the way the game works with Conceal, where you can play defensively, that's going to create a really nice push and pull with your opponents, when to attack, when to be more defensive so they don't get the kills, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be really nice back and forth.
The Scions are really nice models.
And I know a ton of people are super excited to play this new edition.
Tempestus
What sort of different ways
Aquilons.
are there to kind of experience the game?
So we have our standard way of playing, which is PvP, me against you type thing. But we also have a new feature we're really excited about, which is solo and co-op mode. Okay. So this is going to do a few things. First of all, if you are teaching new people to play, sometimes it's not the best experience to say, I've played 150 games, come get smashed by me.
Solo and co-op.
Introduce someone. And equally,
this
you
is
won't have
perfect for me.
or
I don't have any
mistakes
friends.
to try and help them out. So co-op is a really nice way where you can play with someone against procedurally generated operatives, NPOs they're called, bad guys. These
You
bad
can
guys
see
are gonna
battle
come at you,
reports now
and then me and
on
you
the
can team
channel
up
with
and
me
we can take
just
down
playing
someone,
against
which is
myself.
a really nice way of teaching people
Against
how to play.
myself.
It's also going to give us a nice cinematic experience. So if me and you are teaming up against hordes of bad guys,
I
which is
like
quite
that.
fun.
That is
So
a
let's say
nice
some
addition.
Walkers or Hormagaunts are running at us. I cover the
Addition.
left, you cover the right. We're going to gun them down and have that sort of hold out, defend the bunker type missions. And
Are they
so,
trying
yeah,
to
it's
add
gonna give us a very
narrative
different experience
finally?
to the PvP would get.
Well, if Wade's involved,
And
I would
as
guess they
mentioned,
are,
also gonna
yeah.
get some solo play modes. So this all works with solo as well, which is nice. And so if you're not in an active community, you don't get to play as often as you like, or you want to try out some new teams.
If you're a sad,
home,
lonely YouTuber
or if
like
that's
Josh
just how you
who's
game.
watching
If
us
you
right
just like
now,
creating your own
you get to
narrative
play
and
this by
playing solo,
yourself.
it's all going to support that as well, which is really nice. And so we're going to support that with the
I
quarterly
agree with you,
releases. But
Stephen.
there's also going to be loads of free downloads for mission packs to play the solo and cooperative modes. So we're really excited about that.
I really like
Next
that.
up, let's check out the Tempestus Aquilons.
Okay, here we go. These are really, really pretty. I like them a lot. Victory through faith and firepower. How many did you get in a box? I just want to see a picture. Jeez. Strong words.
The Tempestus Aquilons spring into action and they are armed to the teeth. Wade, can you tell us a little bit about how the Astra Militarum fit into this setting now?
The what?
Volcus is an imperial world.
The Astra
Ostensibly, the Tau
Militarum?
Empire have got their eyes on it, but the Imperium is sending in some of their best forces to make sure the Tau can't claim it without a fight. And they're sending in the special forces, and the Tempestus Aquilons are a special breed, even within the elite of the Tempestus
absolutely,
Scions.
Stephen.
The Tempestus
There's not
Scions
gonna
are
be anything else.
the
Well,
special forces
Stormcast may
recruited from all
interrupt
over
us,
the
that's what I'm
world
hoping
that the
for.
Astra Militarum recruits from, trained to an even higher standard than regular Astra Militarum troopers, and the Aquilons are trained experts in grav shoot insertion, so dropping in from Valkyries or orbital drops to be able to take the fight to anywhere that they need to be, so including the heights of the high
Special
cities that we see
Dyson
in
forces.
Volcus.
Nice, and they look absolutely amazing as well. So, like, Elliot, tell me about some of your top favourite features from these miniatures.
So they really capture that special
Looks
forces
like they've got
drop
reading
and
lights
feel.
on their
So not
backpacks.
only they've
Well-
got sort of nice graph shoots on their backs, but you don't have a lot of excess things hanging off them, which is obviously important for dropping out of a high altitude plane.
Yeah.
It's a diddy little
so
melter
things
gun.
like, for example, you can drop them with power packs on their guns rather than cables, because the cable flapping around getting in the way, that kind of thing. And then once they land, fire off the pack, they can discard it and then plug in their cables, little things like that. You won't have sort of scabbards or pouches hanging off. They're all very streamlined, which really captures that drop forces feel, which is cool.
Can you tell me the difference between a Scion and an Aquilon?
So I guess the Aquilon is a more of a specialist.
Yes.
They're both highly trained special forces, elite
An Aquilon
humans.
is an elite Scion
The
who is an
Aquilons,
elite Imperial
their role is
Guardsman.
to drop in.
Who is
from
just
the
as
sky.
elite as a
And so,
Kassakin, who's an elite
whilst the Scions may be
Cadian.
more flexible, and could be
And the
more provided
Cadians are the
with
elite
theatres,
version of the
if
Astra
you need a shock
Militarum.
assault drop troop. There's no one better for the Astra Militarum.
Everyone's elite
than the
in
Aquilons.
40k.
Nice. And in terms of gameplay, then, how does that sort of apply when you're playing the game on the battlefield?
So
There needs to be
really
more
fun rules,
visibility for
drop
goobers
insertion.
like
Essentially you
me
have to
if
start
I was
with
involved
1/3
in
of
40k.
operatives on the table, but the remaining third
Available
can be set
now,
up
a
above.
kill team of
And this may
useless
be a
idiots who
Valkyrie
would
or-
die
or
in
like
10
you saw in the
seconds.
trailer, it may be
That's their
on a
full
level
name.
above and they're dropping in through like a hole in the roof type
The
thing.
best of the best of
Essentially,
the
they're
best,
off the
sir.
table. And then for every third you do that with, so that would be 2/3 of your team. you can
Serious
set up
readers
drop
moving into
markers,
40k
and then
now.
As the game progresses, you slowly move up these drop markers.
Speaking of-
and then you have to remove one, but as in essentially you're zeroing in on where you're going to drop. And when you activate an operative,
Check out
that's
later
above,
today's
they can
video
either
for a
stay
chance
there,
to win
or
a
they can
very,
drop
very
in.
nice light.
And so what this gives you is a very
There is a video
shot
later on
assault,
this evening,
type
7:30
team,
p.m.
where your opponent's
How to
like,
play High
"Are they
Fleet
coming in yet?
Hydra.
I don't know.
Big
And
bugs.
so if your opponent pushes up too far, they
Just a
can
little
drop
bit
in
of
with melter
self-promotion
guns
there.
and melter bombs and really go in loud. And drop hots, as one of their ploys is called. But also, you can use it as
We'd all
quite
be
a
servo
nice, like,
skulls.
sort of,
Well, exactly.
Bluff threat.
Well,
type
I'm
thing.
sure there are some
Your
people
opponent
here
doesn't want to push
who
too
are
close because
elite.
they might come in
I mean,
and
you're
then
an
you need
elite
to be patient
audience
and drop
for
somewhere
checking
else.
out the stream
So,
with
yeah,
me
this,
today.
This sort of very
So you're more elite
aggressive
than I am.
marker as it moves up means they
lot
have
of
this
negative
very sharp
self-talk
assault style,
today.
which is really, really nice.
Nice. Can you introduce us to some of the
I'll have to
operatives
examine
and
that
some of your
later.
favourites as well?
Sure, yeah. So there's quite a few. So for the elites, they also have some specialists that
The
have a very
elites.
particular role.
Yeah.
One is the precursor, which is the melee fighter. So she can drop in straight into control range, straight into combat, which most of them can't, but she can, which is nice. So she can basically dagger out the sky, which is great. And then she can double strike. So that means she hits with 2 dice before you get to resolve one, which is very effective at assassinating things. And then she can dash away to safety afterwards. So she's a really, really cool assassin.
It was
Grenadier.
officially longer than the
Grenadier's
Skaven
tooled up
preview.
with all different kinds of grenades.
It was
including
inevitably going to
smoking stun
happen,
grenades
Black Hole
for the
Eyes.
support role, but their melter bombs particularly fun. If you drop in close as an enemy and ask them to hold
Melee
the melter
fighter,
bomb
give her a
prime,
kitchen knife.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little
If you
stiletto
really want
dagger.
something
That's all they
dead,
need.
Spectacularly.
Specialists.
a close
They're
drop with
elite.
a melter
Elite
bomb
melee
will do the
fighters in
job.
the elite units.
You've also got the gunfighter, the gun-toting pistolier. This one's really cool. It can shoot 2 targets, but it can even use its pistols in melee, which is really nice. So it's a very flexible operative. And then, as you see in the trailer, the little skittering servo
this thing.
sentry.
Yes.
I think that's the servo skull from
I want all of
former
it.
squad, I think, plugged into the sentry. This thing's more durable, but it's your gun turret. It can shoot twice. It can lay down
That
mass
hot shot
fire
volley
with
gun.
its last volley. You can also take a flame or a grenade launcher, so it's quite flexible. So if you want to go loud,
It's an
bring
elite
the servo
kitchen
sentry
knife.
and just go
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
Nice. That all sounds amazing. I cannot wait for them to arrive. Now, we've chatted about the Tempestus Aquilons, and I bet you're itching to find out about the Vespids. Don't worry, we've got your back. Check this out.
Will there be rules for these in normal 40k rules? I would guess so. Vespids already have a entry, I'm pretty certain, in the Tau Codex. I haven't got it to hand, so I can't check. And we haven't had the Astra Militarum one yet, so I guess we'll find out when that one comes out. Expert alien infiltrators. They are nice. I like them. Hello, Leviticus. Idiotic synergy is going to be all about that robot. Yeah, of course it will. It'll be the focus point of every kill team.
The Vespid Sting Wings burst onto the scene with a brand new look and a kill team too. Now, Wade, what are the Vespid and what is their relationship with the Tau Empire?
So the Vespids are an insectile species of aliens used as auxiliaries by the Tau Empire. They were discovered reasonably early in the expansion of the Tau Empire, and their
Plus
home world is
11,
a gas
yeah,
giant
you're right, 11
that
and 11.
produces these
22
interesting
models.
crystals that we see as a feature of their weapons. The neutron blasters and derivations of that weapons technology that the Tau Earthcast have made available to their trusted favoured allied auxiliaries. And that also allows the Tau Empire to send these winged creatures in to places that regular Tau couldn't go, even the Kroot couldn't go, and conduct particular operations that the other honoured representatives of the Tau Empire can't quite conduct. And if some
Hey,
of those
Avelion.
non-Tau lives
I'm very
are lost
well,
in the
thank you. How are
process,
you?
that's very regrettable altogether, but it does preserve some Tau lives. And we've seen the Communion Helm, the really distinctive looking Tau.
I think I liked it
piece
better
of
when
war gear
Vespids
on the
had
helmet
their
of
own
the
weird
Strain
alien
leader
guns
that leads
instead of
those
Tau
Vespids.
hand-me-downs.
There's all sorts of
Yeah.
scurrilous rumours that maybe that's some sort of mind control device, but that's never been proven. The Tau Ethereal cast definitely insists it's just to facilitate communication between the Tau Empire and the Vespids.
Of course, of course.
Imagine
And
them
these
in
Vespids
blue
look
with
absolutely
orange
awesome as
/
well. I
yellow
imagine
blending
that
on the wings.
People are going to have so much fun
Yeah, that would
painting
look
these.
sick.
What I want to know is, you've got your box, you've got your Vespids. What colours are you guys going for? What sort of scheme are we going for here?
I'll probably go Kill Team Orange.
Nice.
I bleed orange. I'm sorry.
That's fair, that's fair. What about you, Wade?
I like black and red things, so I'll probably work some black and red stuff into my scheme
Okay,
somehow.
nice. I'm kind of similar with that. I was going to go for like a kind of waspy thing. That's what I was kind of going
Black
for.
and
there.
red. That's.
And it's not the first
that's
time that
Wade.
we're seeing Vespids, is it, in the 41st millennium?
Yeah, that's right. There's some models from a long time ago.
Yeah.
These are now reinvented and readapted, and they're looking really cool.
Because we're doing that with
sort of
everything.
the modern technology you get and the modern design principles. They're super dynamic, big wings, flying around, perching on rocks.
They are very nice. They are
so
much
they really
better
feel
than the
different
older
and
ones.
unique, especially if you compare them to other optives. Yeah, they're going to be really nice.
It's great. They've had a proper glow up as well. So what's their sort of play style on the tabletop?
So as Wade mentioned, they have some really unique background,
Yeah.
and we've really leaned into that to make their rules super thematic and unusual. So the first one, I guess, the easy one, they all fly. And so having that maneuverability is going to be
You
one
say
of their
that,
key features.
Egan, but
One of the most mobile
they've got
things
some
in the game,
ethereals they
which is dart
can
around and
adapt.
intellect, some people can't. That's going to make them quite a glass cannon playstyle team, though, because then they're not armoured up, they're just insectoid warriors. So whilst they're going to be very fast and very mobile and very good at shooting, which we'll talk about in a sec, they're not necessarily going to be able to take as many hits. So they're very much a glass cannon team. Now, the neutron weapons they all have, powered
The
by
drone
their-
is
by their
cute. I
crystals,
like it a lot.
That is
It's an
kind of
adorable little guy.
integral to Vespid IP, and we've really tried to capture that. So first of all, the harmonics when the Vespids flap their wings.
Thank you
powers
very
up
much,
these
Pedro.
crystals.
That's very kind of
And
you.
so we've made a rule for them whereby when they move, the guns actually get better. And so if you sort of stay up top and don't do much and just fire away, you're actually going to be less effective. And if you're
Converting the
moving around
Vespids
shooting,
to Gossamer
it's gonna
Archers,
create
you'll
that
get
mobile
double the
team that
models
can
as well.
fly, but
Yeah.
also is much better when
Please
it does so
do
because
it.
its guns get powered up. The other
Please
thing
do it,
is
because it would
that
make me
they've
very
got
happy to see
you know,
it, Stephen
insectile
Kim.
species, maybe quite
158 elite
go to
AOS
more basic
fans waiting for the
instincts,
Stormcast interruption.
swarm their opponents, that
100%
kind of thing.
Asmodeus.
And so the Tau use the communion helms and other nefarious things potentially to sort of keep them control and put enact a bit of tactical knowledge on them, if you like.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've done a system called communion points. Okay. And so you'll generate communion points, and as a player, you're effectively the Tau handler, the person that's overseeing these Vespid. Okay. And
yeah,
you'll
I'm
then
just-
spend those points to put a bit of tactical
Show
knowledge
me a
on them.
Stormcast!
If you don't, they'll always have to attack or charge the closest thing, and they can't perform mission actions either. They'd be more aggressive unless you spend these communion points. So that means that you have a very glass cannon team, very mobile, very good at shooting, but their drawback, if you like, is that you have to spend these communion points to really do the things you want to do. Sometimes you can just let them go and attack the closest thing, go for it, go kill whoever's close. But if you really want to maximise them, you're going to have to manage these communion points as the Tau handler to get the best out of them.
Communion
So you chatted a
points.
little bit about the team. Can you tell me some more about some of the operatives?
Sure. So first of all, we have the Shade
God,
Strain.
they really,
That's the
really
one
like
with
this, don't they? They're really into this.
Experimental stealth technology called a ghost rig. Okay. And so this one can semi-go invisible, if you like. It's very difficult to target them. And what that means is that when they're more than 6 inches away
So
from the
far,
active
when we've been
operative,
doing
they can't be
these
targeted, which is
preview
really nice.
watch-alongs, I've noticed a
If
couple
the
of
enemy does
themes
get
that
close,
come
though,
up
you have a
as
nice
we go
neutron
through
grenade
them,
to throw
and
at
they
them,
kind
so
of are
it's quite
becoming
handy.
running jokes on the channel. Firstly,
You
it's
have the
that
Swarm Guard,
there is
which is the
not
one with the
anywhere
flame.
near enough
This has a
stilts.
fun rule called
right?
Sky Torch.
There needs to
So when
be
you fly
about
over
100%
something,
more
you can basically
stilts.
burn everything in a line that you
The
fly
other
over.
one is
So you
now,
set
as a
up really
consequence of
nice
this
line,
one,
just flame everything as you
eliteness.
go by,
Everything's
which
elite.
is really nice.
Elite,
Then we have the Sky
L33T.
Blast, which is the one roughly
And
a,
the Sigma Allied one.
neutron-powered
It makes
grenade
me
launcher.
very, very
So
happy.
if the initial blast doesn't
It
kill
makes me
something,
very, very happy to
you
see
place
it,
down
guys.
the neutron fallout
I
marker.
enjoy it a lot.
It's an area of radiation, which is then going to damage enemy operatives as the battle goes on.
But there
and
is
it
a,
stays there for the rest of the battle.
considerable lack of
If you fire it
stilts,
enough time, you
here,
can just start
to be honest.
basically irradiating their side of the board, which is really cool.
Is things? Is
Well,
this
those
game
Vespids
really
sound
getting vertical
absolutely
without
awesome.
the stilts?
Guys, Wade, Elliot, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us about the newest edition of Kill Team. We really appreciate it. And thank you to you guys at home. Now, if you're just as excited as I am for Kill Team Hivestorm, make sure to go on the Warhammer community website for all the latest news and updates. That's all we've got time for. We'll see you next time on the Warhammer Preview Show.
Oh. The Stormcast. Oh. I see, so it's completely acceptable for 40k to wade into an AOS show, but AOS can't wade into a 40k show. Oh no, can't do that. Jeez. Well, This is the third time this trailer has appeared on this stream. And I'm not sure why. Now I'm not getting Kill Team App spied. Oh dear, that's very good. No! There's literally tens of people in this chat right now who were expecting Stormcast to appear. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly, whilst we're watching this, I'm just going to quickly finish off what I was saying to Giuseppe before this started. So the question, well, the statement from that incredibly generous $50 was, "Hey Josh, thanks for doing what you do. Do you think that all of the Primarisified Space Marines are disappointing because you have their old sculpts or because you don't think they look good? I started collecting a year ago and I don't mind them." So what I was saying before the stream so rudely started is all of the models that 40k have made, mostly, I'm going to say the Inquisitor Cotias one isn't very good, but the models generally that they make are exceedingly good. They are. They're just very, very, very nice. The problem I have with it is it's not innovation. It's just looking back in the back catalogue and going, what needs an update? So what's currently Finecast, and we'll just do a new version of that. And sometimes you get like a brand new, slightly different version of it, or you're just getting a slightly upgunned version of that model. And it's like, you look at things like the Imatech, the Stormlord model, and it's a good model. It looks great. It's nice. But I already have it. And especially for the Blood Angels, right? Because I have every single Blood Angels character that is possible to exist under the sun. And so I kind of go, did Lamatis need a new model? I mean, technically, yes. But could we not have killed him and come up with someone new? Same for Astarath. I get Dante, I get Mephiston, fine. But like Astarath and Lamatis, did they need to have an upgunned version, or could we have killed them off in a really cool story, and then we could have had a novel about somebody taking on the mantle of Astarath, because we haven't had to see a new Guardian of the Lost, as it were. There's a lot of, basically it's a case of there's a lot of narrative being left on the bench. And for me, like the thing that is most important about 40k is its story and it moving forward. That when it moves its story forward in a meaningful way, it's the most exciting thing that Games Workshop makes, like 100%. So I will take you back to there's a series of books, if you haven't checked it out, because you're newer to Warhammer 40,000, check out The Gathering Storm. The Gathering Storm was a set of 3 narrative books. Campaign books that came out in the transition from 7th edition to 8th edition. And in those 3 books, the story moves from where we'd been used to for many, many years. It moved it forward in a quite significant way. And as a consequence of moving it forward in quite a significant way, what we got was quite a significant new amount of miniatures that were not redesigns of old miniatures. They were brand new miniatures. And so, Gilliman returned, for example, and whilst he's not a brand new character to the setting, he's been around for many, many years, he was a brand new model, which was incredibly exciting. Belisarius Call came, Grandmaster Voldus came, Inquisitor Greyfax arrived, we had the Yanari stuff appeared, the avatar of Yvrain, the Vizark, and the Yinkan were all brand new models. They're just new models that are arriving. And throughout 8th edition, what we got was a kind of series of a couple of redesigns here and there, a few updates, but there was also more consistently newer models that came out throughout 8th edition that we hadn't seen before. So things like the Venom Crawler, that was new. What's the Master of Possessions, that was new. The Greater Possessed, that was new. And so on and so forth. So just newer models makes for a more exciting time because it means you're moving the story and the factions forward. When it's a case of when it's a case of you're just going through and you're redesigning, it's absolutely fine, and they are great, and they're perfect for people who are new or starting a new faction. But when you're like me and you've got 10,000 points of Blood Angels, you don't want to see all of it get redesigned. Especially if it's just like, well, I've already have these. And I think I prefer... the reason I bought these in the first place is because I loved them. That's the other thing that's important, is I love my Blood Angels. I absolutely adore them. They are my favourite 40k faction. I love my models. I don't want to replace them or get more. I love the ones I already have. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah, I don't have any problems really with the models at all. I have a problem with what the models represent, in that it's a redesign and it's a reboot. It's not innovative. It's not innovation. It's not moving things forward. That is where I get tired of 40k, and it's consistently like that across every single faction. So I don't want my games. I don't want my games to be predictable, and I couldn't predict most of what they were talking about in terms of the rules of Kill Team. So the rules was exciting. The idea of a co-op mode, very exciting. The idea of a solo mode, also very exciting. I really like that. That is a great idea. So let's just see, is the article already up? Because we can pop over and have a little look at what they're saying. Yes, we can. So here it is. So Warhammer preview show, Operation Hivestorm, descend from the skies into the next great leap for Kill Team. So here it is, Operation Hivestorm. It looks like a cool... I mean, I like the cover art on that there. So here we have them: Tempestus, the gunfighter, the gunner, the marksman, the precursor, the grenadier. Just your basic troopers. More basic troopers. Is that the same picture twice? Yes, it is. The servo sentry, Tempestus, gunfighter. We have the Vespid Sting Wings. Here they are. The Sky Blast, the Strain Leader, the Long Sting, the Swarm Guard, the Shade Strain. I like this model. That's nice. The Warriors, and then the Warriors again, and then the Oversight Drone. There he is. That cute little guy. That is adorable. Having seen this now in a picture where it's not all moving, I like these little kind of greenish flecks in the wings. Those are nice. I love the hue that they've gone for as well. It's a really pretty orange. That'll be a challenge to do in contrast paint, I'm sure, but we'll figure it out. We always do. If they send me a box, they might not send me a box. Yeah. The terrain, here it is. So we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings. Cool. Volcus is a highly developed imperial world dedicated to churning out armaments and is littered with massive hive cities, nestled in between orbital defenses like the skyline dominating massive ballistas. Massive ballistas. The so-called Great Gun that points starward. These environments provide operatives with plenty of cover to fight over, and Kill Team Hivestorm comes with 14 pieces of terrain that make up Killzone Volcus, split between sprawling strongholds, bombed-out ruins, and patches of heavy and light rubble. So there's our 4 buildings, and I mean, I'm guessing there's our rubble and stuff like that. There's a couple of ladders here and there, so we're not going to get a close-up picture of that just yet. These buildings are cool. I like this one. These two seem to be basically the ones that we already have. These two look new, but that one looks familiar to me. The bottom two. Top two look newer. The bottom two look to be ones that we already have. You can see that smaller pieces here and here as well, so which is interesting. Core book and Hivestorm dossier. Cool. Upgrades and accessories in the current edition of Kill Team. Oh, we are getting a thing. So there we go. These are the extra bits of scatter terrain / upgrades and accessories. So you've got your ladders, comms packs, smoke grenades, barbed wire, barriers, all that kind of thing. A huge amount of tokens. And that's it. That's everything that's going to be in the box. 147 tokens. There you go. That is Kill Team Hivestorm. Interesting. 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 What do you guys think? Do you guys like it? Want to see my massive ballistas? Andrew, don't threaten me with a good time. We do the classic blue ones too, or just the orange? If they send it to me, I might do something like 10 schemes. You're excited, are you, James? Good. Also, hello. How much of the preview did you see? The thing I'm really interested in it is the co-op mode, as Tale of Sacramente says there. Co-op mode sounds fantastic. It sounds brilliant. Like it opens up a whole new door of being able to enjoy the game with kind of less confident players, right? Which is, you know, that's a good thing. That's you know, I like that. It'll be interesting, given as they're saying it's going more vertical, to see what else we're going to get as the season progresses. I'm guessing that everything that's come out for it. So for Kill Team, I guess will be involved. I would guess. We'll find out though. They've said the rules are going to be free for all the factions, so we'll have to see what that's like. But yeah, being able to play co-op or even solo, I just think that's a really, really, really cool decision. And I like the idea of playing co-op or playing solo, but also just rather than kind of using those rules as a framework to create just an absolutely obnoxious sized game. So getting like an actual 6x4 or 60x20, whatever it is, 44 map, and actually just covering it in a city's worth of terrain. And playing just a massive game of Kill Team co-op solo type thing. I can see the rules being close to Darktide. Ah, that makes sense. Co-op Kill Team was teased with the Darktide box. That's 1 to 4 players against the game, and it's a very easy way into Kill Team. Okay, I like it. I'm kind of on Kill Team in general. I think the fighting inside the spaceship sets was the coolest thing they did. Yeah. The boarding actions was awesome. Be interesting to see if boarding action style games continue. A bit underwhelming, I guess, but it's a given considering AOS has been so much more interesting to me. Yeah, I can see that, Simone. I'm glad you're excited for it, James, because you are an expert in this type of thing, because you play these skirmish games a lot more than I do, and I have. So yeah, I mean, it's weird because I often find finding the time to learn how to play the skirmish games is actually more trickier than it is to find the time to pick up the big games, because generally the big games, at least in amongst the people that I know and play games with, they are generally more leaning towards let's just play a game of 2,000 points rather than wanting to dive into something like Kill Team or Warcry or Underworlds or Necromunda, for example. And I think that is just generally because a lot of my friends are quite distant. So I'm not part of a local group or a local scene or anything where a campaign like that can kick off and you can kind of dip into it regularly. Which I think if you are able to do that, that's why those games are so successful and so interesting for a lot of people. Just like the regularity of playing, because I do find with the skirmish games, whilst it kind of makes sense that they could be the quicker game to play of the two, they actually generally tend to transpire that they're not as quick as that, especially when you're playing at the higher level. The big games feel slower, less pressurized, so you have time to think about the rules more. Yeah, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. My game group lives in my home. Yes, James. Mine lives in London, and I live far away from London. Alice, I know, would try it. It's just finding the time. Basically what I need is to get some roommates who love Warhammer. So we need to find a big house where we can have lodgers. We are starting a new boarding actions campaign with the rebooted rules down our club. Can't wait to use all my new Terminators. Hashtag Spacehog. That sounds awesome, Wackawoo. I like it. So are we generally happy with that? Because, you know, I'm interested. It's the polling of the people. Also, just as importantly, if I do get sent it, do you want to see videos on it? Is that what you want to see? Because if I don't get sent it and you really want to see it, if there is an outburst of demand for painting videos for all of it, I will try and buy a box when it goes on pre-order if I don't get sent it. But if you guys don't want to see it, then I won't do it. I'll just wait until the Vespids come out. As you guys, I think most people are going to want to see the Vespids. Vespids 100%. Vespids hell yes. Yeah, James? Okay. You'd like to see the terrain painted? I do like making the terrain videos. Terrain videos are always it's an exercise in painting something that is large and effectively, and painting it quickly as well, which is always interesting. So I really enjoy doing the spearhead terrain, for example, and things like the Osgiliath terrain. Really like doing that. The Idol of the Old Ones. That was great. The Moor Pit, that was fun as well. I really enjoyed what you did with the Kroot Pack and the Skaven, so I'm super pumped to see what you do with the Vespids. Okay, it seems like you guys maybe want some videos for Kill Team, so I guess because it's what you guys want, I'll see what I can do. If you get sent it, I'd be interested to see them painted and a game of it. Okay. Well, I'll have to see what the dates are, and I'll have to see if I can wrangle someone to come and play it. But bearing in mind, I haven't even been able to wrangle someone to come and play Spearhead yet, because everyone's too busy, and they all live far away. And as mentioned, I don't have any friends. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can get that done. I will just ask a little favour from the chat. We are 28 likes away from 100 likes on the stream. That would be very, very nice if we could get there. We'll stream for another about sort of 10-15 minutes. I'm 10 teams in on Spearhead with 4 more on the way. Oh my goodness. Your Project Spearhead. I love it. You haven't played Spearhead yet, have you, Paul? Ah. I've played it. A preview game at the Reforged event. We managed that. Let's see if we can try and do a thing as well. I'm gonna see if I can, because it is a new month, so I might be able to try and give some people who currently have a grey name a green name, so you can become a member. Let's see if we can do it. So we can snipe some people to come and join us in the Warhipster community. Also, you know, 5 memberships. If you'd like to become a member, that would be incredible. You can come and join us in the amazing Warhipster community on Discord. So what are we thinking on the price of it? I'd guess £80 to £100. I'm not sure how much those boxes cost anymore because they've been doing the smaller. They've been doing the smaller ones where you get the 2 teams plus a single bit of terrain to go into your collection. And now they're launching a new box with a bunch of terrain. I would probably guess that it'll actually be somewhere in the region of £120 with all that terrain. Would be where I would put it. Yeah, Paul says about £120. Where are you from, Paul? Do you live near me? Do you want to play Spearhead? I would guess, yeah, I would guess it's going to be about £120, $200 US. Is that about right? You're in the south of England. I'm in the southwest of England. I'm in Cheltenham. I paid $230 Canadian for Skaven Tide, so I can see new Kill Team Edition box going for close to that, maybe less, $200 Canadian or so. Yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, it'll be a little bit less than Skaven Tide. Skaven Tide was a bit more expensive because of just how much there was in the box, and I think the reason it was so expensive was to cover shipping costs because it was such a heavy box. It'll be $450 here in Australia. Yeah, I always feel bad for you guys in Australia. They really ought to just open another factory somewhere in that area of the world, or just in Australia, to reduce costs. I wonder how untapped the market is because of that. Do you know what I mean? Thoughts on the old world terrain? I am very tempted to pick up a fortified Empire manor. Very tempted indeed. The reason I haven't is I'm guessing it's not limited, so I can get it at any time. But I would like to do some of it because it's classic, and the fortified Imperial manor looks amazing. You bought the manor, did you, James? Yeah, I want to get it. I nearly did. I put it in my basket and everything, and then I was like, ooh, I'm a bit busy at the moment. So, Josh, thoughts on the new Kill Team stuff? I think it's nice. I think both the teams look good. The terrain is a little bit less imaginative than I perhaps wanted it to be, but that's fine. I'm always looking to add more terrain to my collection. The concepts that they were talking about in the book are exciting. I'm mostly focused right now on co-op and solo mode. I think that's a really nice addition to that game, and that makes it even more compelling because being able to play the games by yourself or with somebody else rather than always against somebody else, I always like. I really enjoy games with a good co-op mode rather than always being competitive. Do you know what I mean? So I like it. Yeah, I'm reasonably optimistic about it. The bit I'm a little bit sad about is that, as we've talked about in this stream, is that there wasn't any Stormcast lightning that interrupted the stream. They do it to us in the Skaven one in Age of Sigmar. You know, Age of Sigmar gets interrupted by jump troops, but jump troops don't get interrupted by Stormcast deploying from the heavens. Games of Workshop, you have disappointed me for the last time. No, they haven't. Oh, goodness me. 40k needs a less competitive mode. A lot of peeps complained about not enough narrative drive. That's exactly the point, Ed. I think in Kill Team, if you have the capacity to put in something like a solo or a co-op mode, that intrinsically is not competitive. It just can't be. Like, how are you making that competitive unless you're trying to min-max against bots? It's like the same problem Helldivers 2 has when they keep nerfing guns. It's like, things aren't nerfed because we're not competing. It's a co-op game. Nothing's overpowered. It's just fun. So if the game makes provisions and allowances in order to have a co-op / solo mode, it means that there hopefully is actually a strong, compelling narrative force behind the game, which actually makes it more interesting than 40k is currently, because there isn't that in 40k at the moment. 40k is about the most efficient way to play the game in a competitive way, which is why it feels a bit bland, because it's very balanced. It's an incredibly well balanced game, but in order to balance the game, they had to take out a lot of the spice. So it's kind of like a chicken korma, really, at the moment. 40k, maybe a tikka masala, who knows. So, you know, it's good. It's good. I like it. At least we can play Space Marine 2 together over long distance. Exactly. Exactly. Here's what I'm going to do to bring here's what I'm going to bring to my battle report channel. Casual narrative play, laid back learning, and less matched play competitive. I like it, James. Can I be on your new YouTube channel? Will you let me? If ever I come to you, or if ever you come to me, can I be on your YouTube channel? You can teach me all these games. You can make a video that's like, I taught a contrast painter how to play the game. I feel like the stream hijacking would be better if kept in the same universe as the reveals in subject. This AOS to kill team was a bit odd. Well, that's it. The problem with it for me is if you're going to preview Kill Team in an AOS show, you're assuming that everybody is watching the AOS show, which they're not. And the same for if you preview AOS in a 40k show. So all you have to do is look back at the, like, when they did like Warhammer Fest Online during the pandemic, and Tale of Sacramento. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. You're an absolute legend. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're actually 46 away from a very amusing number. 46 memberships away. If anyone would like to consider becoming a member or gifting memberships, it's how we keep the channel alive. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. What was I saying before? Yes, if you think back to when they did the kind of preview shows online during the pandemic, they had a day basically for each thing. So it's like, we're gonna have a day of AOS, we're gonna have a day of 40k, we're gonna have a day of this, we're gonna have a day of that. And what you had is you had people going into those days and sitting there in the preview complaining that they weren't seeing the thing that wasn't on the preview today. And I think a lot of people kind of went, right, you learn to not do that, and you kind of look at the title and go, what's it going to be about? It's going to be about this. People tuning in for that, because it just seems a bit strange to go into an AOS day of previews and complain that there wasn't any 40k, even though they're often quite upfront about what's going to be on it. I mean, they always are. They always tell you what's going to be up front. But then when you squeeze in something like Kill Team into an AOS preview, it's a bit strange, because it's like, well, hold on, this is the AOS lot. Surely you would want to squeeze in a Warcry preview, or in a 40k one you'd squeeze in a Kill Team preview. So it's a little bit odd. I could go into it even further, sort of talking about how it kind of sometimes feels a little bit like Games Workshop loses its nerve a little bit when it comes to Age of Sigmar, in that they go, here's incredible Age of Sigmar stuff, but in order for people to like it, here's some 40k. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, let it breathe, let it be on its own. You know, they did it like when AOS 3 came out, when Dominion, like an example was when Dominion was first previewed, when it was first announced. It was announced on a live stream where Stormcast Eternals was misspelt on the slide, and they didn't address it the entire time. It's like, it says Sotrumcast Eternals right there. And it's like, where's the care? Which can feel a little bit like, you know, this is my thing. You know, I like this thing. Love it as much as you want people to love the thing as much as you do, right? The official stream had nothing but complaints. I don't get it. What were they complaining about in the official stream? Sotrumcast Eternals are my favourite Age of Smigmar. Army. Very good, Paul. I can only apologise. What are people complaining about? I don't see a reason to complain about that Kill Team box at all. I can say I would like more interesting terrain. It's so bizarre. This is the thing. The stream is about Kill Team, and if you go in there just being like, "You haven't announced the Astra Militarum Codex, how dare you?" It's like, you've just... Oh, Elysians was the main complaint. Oh, I see. It's not Elysian drop troops. People just like to be negative, really. They really do. They really do. It's hard to, like... I mean, the thing about it is right, negativity drives views, and it drives clicks, and it drives attention, and that is the situation that we are in at the moment in today's internet. So at the moment, you just have a lot of people shouting into the echo chamber about how terrible everything is because they're trying to get your eyes on them. What they don't actually hate the thing. That's the thing to bear in mind, is they're not actually outraged. They just want you to be in their ecosystem. And because eventually like, it's going to get you, because something's going to happen that's going to get you. And if you find like a cause that just whatever kind of clicks with you, it'll get you eventually. Do you know what I mean? Also, it's good that it wasn't Elysian's Tempestus are objectively better. Well, I kind of agree with you there, Alec, man, because... Asmodeus, thank you so much for the 10 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is amazing. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do agree with you, Alec, man. I would rather. Okay, so this is perfect. This is perfect about what we're talking about constantly about 40k models at the moment, right? Would it be nice to see a range of Elysian drop troops return in plastic? They're the same as the old models. They're just updated a little bit, and they're in plastic. Would that be nice? Yes, it would. Right? There's no question of that. It would be nice. However, what I would much prefer is for them to go, well, here's the Tempestus range. Here's the Aquilons. They're a new addition. They are new. They're new to the Tempestus. They're not new to 40k, but they're new to Tempestus. We have the Scions, and we have the Taurox Prime. We have basically the Command Squad. That's it. So what I would love to see is the Tempestus fleshed out with a bunch of stuff you'd never seen before. With new models that we can't predict. So if I said to you, what would you see in a Tempestus range? And you go, well, like special forces stuff. So I don't know, let's have guys in rib boats, for example, right? Just, Tempestus in rib boats. We don't have that right now in 40k. That would be amazing. Do you see what I mean? That's better than what needs a redesign. That's more exciting. People would be more compelled by it. And you should see the whining in the Blood Angels group on Facebook. I know. And everyone's talking about the Blood Angels and how the new Sanguinary Guard are rubbish. And it's like, they're not rubbish. They're just not interesting. And they're not interesting in the sense that they are a new version of an older model. And this is what happens when I was talking about it in Discord yesterday about how the people who design models are creative people. They are going to take creative directions that will not necessarily be, let's just make it taller and bigger. You see? There is so much untouched lore to make models about just in the Guard. Imagine if they stopped listening to the rage betas and just got creative. Exactly. So this is the point I keep making about 40k, is that by all means, keep redesigning models, because that's what Reddit wants. Everybody out there says, we want Eldar plastics. You know? Everybody wants Eldar plastics. Why? Why do you want Eldar plastics? Because I want to replace all my resin models. Do you? Do you actually? Or have you been waiting for, and this is the one you often see in comments, right? I will only start an Eldar army once we get plastic warp spiders. I've been wanting to do this for 30 years. Have you? You when they first came out and they were metal, you went and looked at them and went, yeah, those are really cool, but I'm not going to start them until those are made in plastic. No. So this is the point I keep making about 40k models in general, is that there is nothing wrong with the ones that we currently have, and there is nothing wrong with the stuff that we are getting. Not really. Are the Sanguinary Guard, the new Sanguinary Guard, good models? Yeah, they're perfectly fine. Are they good Sanguinary Guard models? No, I would say. I don't think they're as characterful as the original Sanguinary Guard. Do I have to buy them? No, I don't. Am I going to buy them? Probably not. If Games Workshop sends them to me, I will paint them. And I'll have a good look at them and see how I feel about them then. But as a customer, I wouldn't go out and buy them, because I don't have to engage in it. I can just go and engage in something else until Games Workshop starts to make models in a style that I like, which is Age of Sigmar, where they are generally going, here's a bunch of new stuff. But if AOS 4 does the same thing, they go, right, we're just going to look at all old models and we're going to redesign them and we're not going to really bring new things, I will have exactly the same criticism. And it'll be the same for Kill Team, it'll be the same for Necromunda, it'll be the same for any game system that Games Workshop makes. If all they do from this point onwards, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, is just redesign old models, I'll be like, well, it's boring and predictable, so I'm going to go and do products that are not boring and predictable instead of keep up with these models. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I being outrageous? Is that a hot take? I don't think it is. I don't think that's a particularly spicy take. Middle Earth needs some love. The old models suck. Yeah, I would agree with that. Is that a John Cena t-shirt? Yes, it is. Never give up. Hustle, loyalty, respect. I think there should just be more of a balance between completely new stuff and refreshes. Yeah. Did you see the new Deadpool? I did, David. I thought it was very good. Very, very, very good. I thought the stream was invisible. You can't see the stream. Unfortunately, they seem to be starting in that direction with Stormcast. New Liberators and Prosecutors are just refreshes of existing models. And that is exactly the point. That is exactly the point, Dave. The Stormcast... I'm very excited for the Stormcast release, don't get me wrong. But if the Stormcast release is... doing redesigned Judicators, redesigned Retributors, redesigned Lord Celestin, redesigned Lord Castellan. If there's nothing in there that's new, that will make me very sad. And I will hold my hands up and I will say this is also not acceptable. Well, not acceptable. This is also not what I want. You know? That's the thing. Is it's like, where's the new thing for me to get excited about that does something different or looks different or is new? You know, that is what excites me, and that's what makes me happy. I don't like the predictability of a release. That is, I think, my main criticism of 40k, and we've talked about it in that I've said that. And I've said that, like, if the next codex, like, pick a codex, you can probably guess. The only one that's an outlier for me at the moment is Leagues of Votann. No idea what it's going to do, because that is not a range that's being refreshed. That's all new. So in many ways, that's actually the most exciting thing that's possibly coming. World Eaters is kind of similar, as is Death Guard, as is Emperor's Children, actually kind of less so, because it's like, what's going to be in it? We can probably all guess, you know. Thousand Suns, similar, but it's like if Thousand Suns come out and they go, "Hey, here's a new Ahriman," even though he's plastic and he's not that old. Like those are the things that are really exciting. Whereas if you look at Eldar, like Eldar, I'm always going to go back to Eldar as the Eldari problem. The Eldari thing is a case of, if you are looking to get started with an Eldar army, it's perfect for you. If you already have an existing Eldar collection, the range of models for Eldar is so old that you already have them. And I hear it all the time of people saying, no, I definitely would replace it. But then every army I play, I've never seen new Banshees on the tabletop at tournaments, ever. I've only ever seen old metal or resin ones. And I've always been like, do you know what the new Banshees? It's like, well, I've already got 30. Oh. What about the Skaven? Wasn't a majority of their reveals refreshed models? Do you take umbrage with them? I think the Skaven one was, it was half and half, which was actually a better balance of the multi-part kits. Yes, a lot of it is redesigned, and you know that is, it's not ideal, but there's enough in there that's new and interesting with Skaven. That and it all comes as part of the launch box, right? So it's like when the Necrons got their redesign. It is exciting because there's the volume of it. If the most you can look forward to is again, we always use Eldar as the example. If you go, what's going to come from the Eldar when they get their release? Probably, I think what they're going to get is they're going to get a plastic Karandras, and that's it. They might get plastic Swooping Hawks. They might get plastic thingy, but we've had the plastic Striking Scorpions, so I think they're going to get a plastic Karandras. And if that's the only thing they get, because so much of it has already been done, the coolest thing about that Eldar release was the Shroud Runners, the last range, because they were brand new. They were cool. I'm perfectly happy for them to replace old resin models, but they're replacing some plastic ones that aren't very old. Yeah, and then there you go. Where does it stop? Do you see what I mean? I would replace Finecast. That material is so horrible, I happily replace with plastic. Yeah, I agree. You didn't like the Avatar of Khaine. I did like the Avatar of Khaine. And I'm not saying I don't like any of these models. I need to be clear on that. I'm not saying I don't like them. They're just not... This has been the theme for an edition and a half now. I'm not critical of any of these models. I think they're absolutely fine. Again, let's keep talking about Eldar. They're all great. They're great new models. They're just not interesting. Because it's just redesigns. It's reboots. That's the point. That is the point I keep making. Is the hill I will die on. I just want to see new stuff alongside redesigns if we're going to do it. You really do need to ask yourself, if you have 30 of Model X and they refresh it, will you really replace Model X 30 times again? I think a good deal of people won't. Yeah. Make Exodites something new, unless this is like bad for lore. I don't know, maybe they don't exist anymore. Yeah. Exodites would be interesting. It would be. It would be very, very, very cool. It would be. I'd like that. Because it's new. It's a good model, but being a refresh makes it inherently less exciting. Exactly, Alec, man. Exactly. It's less exciting to see a reboot. Less exciting to see a reboot. That is exactly the point I'm making. And so the criticism I have of Warhammer 40,000 right now is it's not exciting enough. There you go. I don't think it's bad at all. I just think it's not exciting enough. It's the most mild take on the internet. That is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 3. That is a single chili. Do you think we will get a new Vandus as Ruination Chamber? I don't know if we will now. I think we might see a new Vandus possibly later on in like the narrative story, which will take us from 4th into 5th. We might see it then. And to be honest, I actually wouldn't really have a problem with that, because the same for Korgos Cool, right? Because you could argue, yes, that those are redesigned models. However, when the Vandus Hammerhand and the Korgos Cool models came out, they were actually just Lord Celestin on Dracoth and the... what's he called? The generic name for the blood, for the Corn Lord of Corn, or whatever it was called, Lord of Blood, something like that. They then became Vandus and Korgos Cool later in the edition, because they were just the push fit ones, because you could actually build a Mighty Lord of Corn, thank you. You could actually build a Lord Celestin on Dracoth when you got a box of Dracothian Guard. You could build it that way, and obviously there was the extra bit of addition of being able to put a shield on it, right? So actually, they're not dedicated character models. They just became them later on, as opposed to being initially released as. So if they actually get a dedicated character model, that's much better. And the reason I say this is because the Lord Relictor that was in that box, Mighty Battles in an Age of Unending War, is Ionis Cryptborn. Except it's not. It's a Lord Relictor. Ionis Cryptborn now has a model. Do you see what I mean? Makes sense. Especially when a lot of the refreshes are just 4K copies of already existing models. Lamatis was the exception, but the Sanguinor and Astaroth are like literally just high def versions of themselves. Yeah, exactly. It's nice to see them. It depends on the base you're working from, right? The base of the character that you're working from. Do you really want to see a plastic version of what's a sort of slightly rubbish character? You know, what's in basically next time you're thinking about what's going to come in the future for 40k, just go on the website and look up anything that's Finecast. It's probably that, and you know, then you're not going to be disappointed. You see what I mean? But yeah. Yeah. So, I guess to kind of finish off the thought, Kill Team box looks great. Looks good fun. It sounds great. I think a new edition of Kill Team, rules are free, co-op and solo mode. Hopefully, a bit more of a narrative bent to it. Much more kind of interested in a deep story. That maybe has some repercussions on the wider world of 40k. That would be lovely. I won't expect that though, but they've got to make me care about it and be excited by it. And unpredictable. I wouldn't have predicted a solo or a co-op mode today. That is not something I would have been able to predict. So you know, that's good. That is good stuff. New Vespids, yeah, they're not new, they're refreshes. Besides Kill Team, will GW show more models today? No, they won't. There won't be any more. Yeah, the next new model you should see will be on Monday. They like to do a miniature Monday type thing where they reveal a new model, so look out for that on Monday. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, you did it. We got over 100 likes on the stream. That's amazing. We are 36 members away from our target of 469 for now. But we have had 20 new members today, which is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I think we're probably going to bimble off now because I've got a lot of stuff to do. So unless anybody has any final thoughts, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody for hanging out with me today. I enjoyed that. I'm excited to see the future of Kill Team. We'll have to see what happens with it. We'll probably get a bunch of information in the coming weeks about Kill Team in depth, I would guess. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this slightly impromptu stream. Slightly impromptu. I didn't know it was happening until I woke up this morning, and then I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I should probably do that." And then I was in the middle of something, and then only realised about half an hour before that I needed to stream, and so I ended up scheduling the stream, and then I got it wrong because it was an hour late, so I had to put it back to 3:30. So that was a whoops on my part, but there we go. Is what it is. Right, I'm gonna go and feed some cats. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. Here is the hand of farewell. Normally it's like that. And I'm going to wave it at you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You are the best audience on the internet as ever. Please do check out the video that's going live later today. There's a video that will be going live in about 2 hours. So, yeah, do me a solid and go and watch that. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Catch you later, guys. Have a good one. Best audience in the world. Love you. Bye.